okay? So maybe he's hidden behind the bushes. Maybe there's bushes behind him. Okay, well, if I'm hunting the bunny and I'm trying to keep track of him, he's moving around. I gotta keep tabs on this bunny. Am I gonna be worried about every single blade of grass? Am I gonna be worried about every single little rock, every single little pebble, every grain of sand? No, I can't. I can't picture every branch of the tree. I can only think of so many things at one time, you guys. I can only think of so much at one time. So it's helpful to me to sort of abstract away the bunny. So what this means is that I'm going to ignore all the things that don't matter to me. And I'm only going to pay attention to what does matter to me. Do you understand? I'll give you another good example of it, okay? So I'll go to let's see. I'll go to Google Maps, okay? Hold that thought. I'll go to Google Maps, okay? And then on Google Maps, let me see if I can just find, like, okay, let's see if I can go. Okay, so here I am, I'm looking at New York, okay? I'm looking at New York, and you can see, okay, I have some choices, okay? I can choose the satellite map, okay? You see the satellite map. The thing is that with the satellite map, there's a lot of details here, okay? Like I can zoom in, I can see every little tree, I can see every little building, I can see the little things on top of the roof and things like that. But if I was trying to navigate the city, is all this detail necessary to me? I mean, maybe, potentially, it might even be a little bit distracting, right? So what I can do is I can create an abstraction. Okay, so here's an abstraction. It's the same map, but the difference is that I've removed all the things that I'm not concerned with, and I only have the streets. The buildings are literally just represented with white shapes, you know? Any city parks are just represented with green shapes. Maybe that's important, maybe it's not. Bodies of water are represented with blue shapes, okay? But my attention is drawn to these yellow roads, okay? This has been highlighted for me. And of course, I have the names of the roads and things like that. So that's the difference. We have the reality of something, and then we have an abstraction where we remove all the details that we're not concerned with. We're only going to focus on what we want. I'm going at the pace that I enjoy, okay? This is how I teach the class, okay? This is how I'm going to teach the class for the entire duration of the class, okay? So just be aware of that. Okay, so let's see. Okay, the next thing that I want to talk about, the very last concept that I want to talk about is, let's see, you know, oh yes, algorithms. Okay, so has anybody ever made cookies? Anybody ever done this? This is not Scratch yet. I'm gonna go. Okay, great. So if you have made cookies, then what are the steps to making cookies? Like, first I gotta let me write the word algorithm, okay? It's a big word, I like writing it. I like big words, you know? They're fun for me. Algorithm. And it basically just means a plan, okay? A series of steps. So for example, if you were making cookies, you would gather your ingredients. Okay, maybe here's a box of something. I don't know what exactly. Maybe it's a box of sugar. I don't know. Does sugar come in boxes? Everything comes in bags. Look, I got a bag of chocolate chips. I got a bag of flour. Maybe I do have a bag of sugar, you know? Who knows? Maybe I got a carton of eggs. Okay, there's my carton of eggs, right? Appetizing. Okay, so then what do I got to do? Okay, I got to mix it up in a bowl. So I got to get a bowl. Here's my little mixing spoon. Okay. And then after I mix the ingredients together, then what do I do? Maybe roll the dough up into balls and put them on a baking pan. And then after that, maybe what's next? I bet everybody can guess the next step. Put everything in an oven, maybe. Here's my oven. It's got a stove on top, so I got to put the knobs for the stove on top. So look inside, you guys. Oh, those cookies are getting nice and fluffy. Oh, goodness. All right. So then what? I take it out of the oven after it's done, and then you can maybe serve it on a plate. Don't forget my chocolate chips with some, maybe a nice glass of cow milk or almond milk or something like that. Okay, so there's this series of steps I had step 1 was gather ingredients, step 2 was mix it up, step 3 was put it on a baking pan, step 4 was put it in the oven, and finally, my favorite step is serve it, okay? That's my personal favorite right there, okay? So this is what an algorithm is. It's a series of steps, okay? So pretty much everything that you do in life, you could think of as an algorithm, like your daily routine is an algorithm. You know, you wake up, you brush your teeth, you shower, you eat breakfast, you get ready for school, whatever you do, okay? Whatever you do on a daily basis, that's a kind of an algorithm. When you go on a hiking trip, you know, you got to prepare for the hiking trip. There's an algorithm to that. Okay, so these are the 4 concepts that we covered, okay? When it comes to computational thinking, we're going to keep these 4 things in mind. Decomposition is breaking things. Or to formalize and say, oh, this is how we do it. Can't hear you, can't hear you. Oh, goodness. What's going on? And am I back? I really just reviewed the 4 ideas. Oh, my goodness. All right. Thank you guys for letting me know. I'm going to be doing my best. You know, if you can't hear me, then yeah, just let me know. Okay. Whew. All right. So, maybe the best thing that I can do is I will do my best to make this. I'll try and make a little PDF of what I talked about. Okay, just to kind of review. So if you can't hear me, then keep in mind I'm going to be sharing my code. Okay, so this is, watch, check it out. I'll share my code. I'll provide a PDF of the lesson. Okay, that's the best I can do. You know, we are all dealing with internet connection issues, so that's how I'm going to address that, okay? All right, everybody. Let's go ahead and let's do some coding in our coding class. How about that? So over here, I'm going to go to scratch.mit.edu, okay?
What?
Let me see if I can just go to the root
have a
home page. So copy that, and if you missed it, let's go ahead, and I want everybody in this class who's able to form an account on Scratch. It's free to all. And it's going to allow us to do something kind of special because, you know, towards the end of class, what I'd like to do is I'd like to feature a few projects. So if you have a project that you want to share with the group, go ahead and I'll figure out a way. Maybe like on the second to last day of class, we're gonna need a way to see people's projects. So maybe you know, maybe we'll figure out how to handle. But we gotta share our projects with each other is my point towards the end of the class. But today I'm gonna share with you just the basics of the Scratch interface. To anybody who's new to it, I'm just gonna go up here to the create button, okay? And I'm gonna call this the Monday, Wednesday, 2:30. Right? Is that where we're at? Let me see. Where am I? What year is it? Oh, 12:30. Let's do that. just like that.
Mom, may I have an M&M cookie?
Okay, so
For my chocolate
first things first.
Because I ate some on my breakfast.
I'm going to, let me just talk a little bit about this, okay? For the remainder of the class, I'm going to be referring to certain regions of the screen, okay? Certain regions of this interface, okay? This region over here, this big region you see on the left, this is going to be referred to henceforth as the code panel or the code pane, okay? And it has two halves. This half is called the toolbox, okay? And this half over here, I'm going to refer to as the script, okay? If I go up here and I click this tab, now this region is now the costumes pane. This is where I can change the appearance of my sprites, okay? And sprites are just like the kitty here is a sprite, okay? It's like the characters in my game or the objects in my game, okay? That's gonna be called a sprite. This is the sounds panel where I like, ooh, that's always a little rough. I'm sorry if that hurt your ears. I probably won't be working with audio in this class because I don't believe in broadcasting audio from my computer to you guys over stream. I just think it's a bad idea in general, so I'm not going to do it. But keep in mind that there's a whole section of the toolbox dedicated to sounds, and I encourage you to go ahead and play with that. And maybe I will make an exception for the projects that we share in class just because I don't want to limit you in that way. But it might be, I don't know, like if it hurts your ears, then I would say like when we share it in class, then maybe turn the volume off for the last day of class when we're sharing projects, okay? Because, I know that sometimes it can be a little intense, okay? But that's all I have to say about those three panels. Below that is a backpack, okay? And essentially what I gather about the backpack, I have not used the backpack yet, but I have researched it. And apparently what this is a place where you can share assets between your different projects, okay? So, and just to let you know, you should be watching me. Like if you have two screens, then by all means, put me on one screen, put your own scratch on another, follow along, that's totally cool. But if you only have one screen, then my advice to you is just listen to me, pay attention, maybe draw a doodle, right? Like draw a little drawing while you're listening to me so that you'll have like something to tie to my voice, something to tie to my words. Please don't type gibberish in the chat. That's very disrespectful to the other attendees, okay? We want to be respectful of everybody here today. Okay, so, all right, moving on. This right here is where everything is going to happen. And I'm going to call this panel the result, okay? This region right here is going to be the result. This is where everything is going to happen. This down here is called the sprites panel. This is where we're going to be selecting sprites, and here I can see a few property of the sprite. So I can see the name of the sprite, and I can even change properties of the sprite here. I can name him, I'm just gonna name it Kitty. How I doing? I'm doing okay. So, this over here is the stage panel, and what I can do here is I can choose a backdrop, okay? So I'm just gonna choose a backdrop, maybe something, I don't know, it doesn't really matter. I kind of like, I'll choose the hayfield, okay? I'll put the little kitty in a hayfield, okay? So sky's the limit. You can make your own, you can import, you can upload pictures from your computer to Scratch. It's completely, it's completely up to you, what you want to do. It's fairly unlimited, which is kind of why I chose this platform, because I think it's a good introduction to these ideas. So I do want to talk about two coding ideas too, okay? We talked about computational thinking, but that's like general. That's like for success in life, okay, all this stuff. But there's two other ideas that I want to talk about today, and they're more specific to like coding and programming in general, okay? So the first idea that I want to cover is something called events, okay? Which might seem like a strange place to start, but hopefully you'll understand as we go into it. And the next thing that I want to talk about is something called a variable, okay? And you might not have ever come across variables before. You may have. But basically, an event is exactly what it sounds like, okay? An event is when something happens, okay? And the reason that I care about that is because if the program sees that something has happened, then the program is going to be able to, hold on just a second, everybody. Let's see, hold on just a second. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, so as I was saying, an event is just when something happens, then we can set it up so that our program can respond to different things that happen, okay? A variable, on the other hand, is going to be when we have one value that we want to give a name to so that we can refer to that later, okay? So maybe you have like, I don't know, like you have a name, that's sort of a value, and so you would say that's your name. You call it your name, right? So that's kind of one idea, a variable. And I'll show you right now, because what I want to do is I want to begin with the events, okay? I want to begin with making something interesting happen on this screen. And maybe I'll move him up here. Maybe I chose a bad background. Or what I could do instead is I could just come up here and change the kitty's color. Let me change it to something that's going to clash with both of these. So I'll just make him like red. How about red? How about a red kitty? I don't know why. I just like the idea of this cat being red. Okay, let's see. So I'm going to paint him now. And I'm in the costumes panel right now, just painting the cat. And I'm going to paint both costumes. And notice that it looks similar. The two costumes that he has, here are his two costumes. And they look very similar. The only difference is, look at the position of his legs. His or her, it doesn't matter. Okay, it looks like I colored the edge, but that's okay. I'm gonna live with it. So I'm gonna have to move over to my mouse anyway. Okay, all right, perfect. He's fixed. I fixed it. You see? Okay. Anyway, yeah. Let me move over to my mouse anyhow, since I'm done scribbling on the whiteboard. All right. Okay. So now I'm going to go into the code, and I'm actually going to program the kitty. See, now you can see him against the sky. You can see him against the hay. He's very clearly visible. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this yellow button, and I'm going to click it. And that's going to bring me to the events portion of my toolbar, okay? And these are things that I'm going to, these ones with the little sunrise on them, they're kind of called event listeners, okay? So they're going to listen for an event happening, such as when flag is clicked. And here's the flag up here, kind of towards the top. I'm going to make my screen full screen again so you can see everything. And I'm just going to attach an event to this. So I'm going to attach this, I'll just start with the X and Y, okay? When I talk about the kitty, I said he has properties. And here's a property called his X, what's called a coordinate. It's a number that basically tells me where he is. Okay, but the X coordinate, or the X number, that tells me how far to the right he is, okay, from the center of the screen. If I say 0, if I set this to 0 and say enter, then now he's halfway between the left and right side of the screen. If If I put them closer to the left side of the screen, then you see this minus 145, okay? That means that he's minus 145 pixels away from the middle of the screen. And you might be asking me, David, okay, that's great and everything, but what is a pixel? A pixel is just a very small portion of a picture, okay? Who this is, I can't remember right now. But here you see some squares with big solid colors on every square. Every square only has one color on it. And these squares are called pixels, okay? The image is made up of a collection of pixels. But would you believe me, guys, if I told you that both of these pictures are made up of pixels? There's actually pixels over here. Because if I zoom in, then you can actually see the pixels, okay? This is what pixels are. And as a matter of fact, I don't know why I brought Buzz Lightyear into this, because actually I can actually change the kitty. I can make him pixely too, because watch this. I figured this out. Let's see. If I switch costume, change color. Okay, watch this, okay? I'm going to change the pixelate value by 25. So watch. If I just click this, actually I'll put it on flag. When I click the flag, he's going to get a little more pixelated. All right, that's fine. Okay, all right. I'm going to undo that now. Okay, hold on. Sorry, I just thought that was kind of funny. Let's see. Well, why did I bring up pixels in the first place? I'm talking about the way that the cat moves. Uh-oh, I need to go back again. I did it again. Okay, there we go. All right, let's get rid of that. That's what a pixel is. So, if I change this, I can actually change his X property and it'll tell you how many pixels away from the center he is. Now he's 146 pixels to the left of center. Now he's like 180 pixels to the right of center. And if I put him right close to the center, you see then X becomes a very small number, 19, okay? So Y is similar to X, but as you can see, there's a little up-down arrow here. That's because Y deals with up and down. It's how far away from the center he is above. You know, it's how many pixels he is above the center. So right now he's 112 pixels above it. Right now he's 115 pixels below it. So you see that negative to help me so that I see that it's below. And so let's see. I have this when flag clicked event listener, so I can say change X. Because I'm changing X. He's going to move to the right by 1 pixel. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Did you guys see it? Whew. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Can everybody hear me? Because I just got this like... Okay, some people can hear me. Okay, I'm going to do it again. Okay, I'm going to click the flag and he's going to move by 1 pixel. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Did you see him move that time? Okay, well maybe if I change this to a bigger number, then you'll be able to see it. Maybe if I change it to 100 pixels. Okay, now I'm going to click the flag. And let's see if he moves to the right by 100 pixels. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you see, that's 100 pixels right there. Okay. Need it later. But I'm just going to go over to my events over here. And there's different event listeners. I don't only have to listen for the flag being clicked, you guys. I can actually listen to keys being pressed on my keyboard. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to choose from the drop-down menu. 1, 2, 3. Did you see it? How about I do it again? Right. How about I hold it down? Oh, he goes to the right. Okay, great. Okay, well, that's all good and everything, but let me just, I can right-click the block, and anything attached to it will be copied if I duplicate, okay? D-U-P-L-I-C-A-T. That means duplicate. And duplicate just means make a copy of it. Make another one. Oh my gosh, am I adding a comment? No, I didn't mean to add a comment. That's good, though, that you can add comments. I'll talk about that later. A comment is just when you're talking about your own code to help you understand it. The computer ignores comments. That's important to understand. But okay, so I have one for my right arrow. Look, I have this event listener for my right arrow. It moves the kitty right. Very good. But this one that I've duplicated, I need to make a few changes to it. So I'm going to click the drop-down menu on the yellow event listener block. I'm going to click the drop-down menu, and I'm going to choose the left arrow. Okay? And instead of changing x by +8, I'm going to put a little minus sign before it. And that's going to tell Scratch that I just want him to move to the left if I click the left arrow, okay? So if I want to move left, then that's got to be there has to be a minus sign in front of the pixel number, okay? So I can move to the right and the left. Very good, very good. But I have a small problem, okay? Here we have the direction of the kitty, and I can change the direction of the kitty, and that's fine. Like, I could change him like this, and he would be upside down, and I could still go right and left, and that's okay, I guess, but that's not really exactly what I want. What I would really prefer, what I really want, is I want him to be facing kind of like this when I move to the right, but I want him to face this way when I move to the left, but the only thing is that now he's upside down. So to change that, I can actually change this from all around to left-right, okay? And if I change it from left-right, then now I can only choose between the left and the right, okay? So that's what I want to do. I'm going to set so I'm going to keep him at left-right, and there's actually a way to sort of lock that in so that happens at the beginning of the game. It's this block here in the motion blocks called Set Rotation Style. There's a little drop-down menu on Set Rotation Style. I can have Don't Rotate All Around or Left-Right. I'm going to choose Left-Right, and I'm going to put that up on the When Flag Clicked, because I'm going to click the flag at the beginning of the game just to restart everything and set everything up in the beginning. So in the beginning, I want his rotation style set to Left-Right, so that when I change the direction, he's only going to be facing upright. He's not going to be upside down or anything like that. And then when I move right, I want to make sure that he's facing to the right. So I'm going to grab this point in direction. And remember what number it gave to the direction when it's right? It's 90. They said 90. So this is like, let's see, 0 is facing straight up, and then 90 is to the right. And then let's see, it down looks like 180. And then over here I have some negative values. So if I want him facing left, that looks like it's about -90. Okay? So I'm sort of going to duplicate the point in direction block. I'm going to put it over here on the left arrow for when I hit the left arrow and I want to move left. And then I'm going to change it to -90. Okay? So now watch, you guys. If I want to move him to the right, he moves to the right. But if I want to move him to the left, he looks to the left. Good, great, okay. Fantastic. Okay. So I'm going to duplicate this right now. And I'm actually I don't need to duplicate it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the When left arrow pressed event listener, and I'm going to switch this. I'm going to get the drop-down menu, and I'm going to choose the up arrow. Okay? And remember, when I was moving left and right, I was changing the X direction. Okay? I was changing the X coordinates. Okay? The number associated with left and right. But if I want to move up, then I got to choose the number that's associated with up and down, which is not X. It is called Y. Okay? And I'm going to set this to 8 pixels. So now when I hit the up arrow, he's going to move up 8 pixels. And I'm sure you can guess what I'm going to do now. I'm going to right-click this block, and I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to put it down here, grab the drop-down menu, click the down arrow, and give that Y value, instead of +8, -8. So I put a minus before the 8 to make it negative 8. And that's going to make him go down when I hit the down arrow, okay? So now look at me go. I can go anywhere on my screen, okay? But I have a slight problem. I think maybe 8 is a little too slow. So should I go and I'll change this 8, and I'll change this 8, and I'll change this 8, and I'll change this 8. That seems like a lot of work, you guys, and I don't feel like doing that much work. So I'm going to grab a variable, okay? And like I said, a variable is just a name that you can give to a value. And remember, look at how I'm repeating myself. 8, 8, negative 8, negative 8. I'm repeating myself a lot. So I just need one name for this number, okay? And I'm going to go over to the orange variables tab, and I'm going to say make a variable, okay? And I'm going to call it kitty speed. Okay, so right now kitty speed is 0. So I want to change kitty speed when the game begins. So I'm going to say, I'm going to grab this block here, which actually sets the value of my variable. It says set kitty speed to 0. So I'm going to drag that up here to the when flag clicked. And I don't want to set it to 0. Let's say hypothetically, I wanted it to be something like 20. Okay? So now if I click the flag, look over here, you can see the value is 0 right now. But when I click the flag, it's going to run this script. It's going to set the kitty's rotation style to left, right, and it's going to set the kitty speed variable to the value of 20. Okay, so now when I click the flag, watch what happens to the kitty speed. See now I've assigned the value of 20 to my variable of kitty speed, okay? And now I can just ask for that value anytime over here. Okay, I can just from my variables tab, I can just drag this variable in wherever it belongs. But I have another problem here, is that I needed negative kitty speed over here. So I'm going to show you how I do that, okay? And just keep in mind, I am going to be sharing this code at the end of class, so if this is confusing you, don't worry too much about it. But in order to make a number a negative number, I'm going to have to go to the operators, the green operators, and I'm going to grab this one with the star in it, okay? This is how I perform multiplication, okay? And all I have to do to make a positive number into a negative number is I can multiply that number by -1, okay? And I'm not going to go too deep into how multiplication works, but that is how you make a positive number into a negative number. So I'm just going to put negative kitty speed right there, and then I'm going to put grab the whole thing. And I'm going to put negative kitty speed right there. So now if I use the directions, I can actually move by 20. And now, if that's still too slow for me, then I can just go up here to kitty speed and I can set it to 80. And if I click the flag, then kitty speed, it'll set kitty speed to 80. So I'll click the flag. Now kitty speed is set to 80. So see, I can change basically 4 different functions at the same time just by changing the variable at that one place, because I made 4 references to it, okay? So that's it for today. That's all I wanted to talk about today. I just wanted to talk about events, and I wanted to talk about variables. But we have a problem with our script, okay? The problem with the script is that I can't go in a diagonal direction, okay? Not really. It looks like I kind of can. But if I hold it down, it's not going to work, okay? If I hold it down, then I'm in trouble. Actually, let me set the kitty speed back to something small. Let me set it back to 2 pixels at a time. Notice that, hold on, I gotta hit the flag. Notice that now he's moving, okay, and I can move down, but I can't quite move diagonal if I hold down the buttons, okay? So we're gonna work on that next time, okay? We're gonna be working on making the kitty move diagonally and talking a little bit about loops and about conditional statements, okay, you guys? So, to wrap up with today, the very last thing that I want to talk to you guys about is about how you share projects in Scratch. I see a lot of people saying, stop, wait, I got to catch up. So don't worry too much about keeping up with me, just as long as you understand the 2 things that I've discussed. I discussed event listeners and I discussed variables, okay? So if you had problems, keeping up and you want the code, I'm going to go up here to share. Okay, so I already have an account. I'm already logged in, so I can say share. And here you see my project page. And it's called MWF 1230. And I can go into any kind of project and see inside. Okay, but I can go back to see project page. And I'm just going to go down here that says copy link. Okay, so I'm going to copy that link. Copied, link is copied. And I'm just going to share it in chat right now. So there you go. There's the project in chat right now. Okay, so go ahead. If you want to click it, just put it in a new tab and keep listening to me. I want to show you guys something else. If I go over here to explore, okay, now I can see games that other people have made. Okay, so I could go to this project here that says tic-tac-toe, or this project that says golf, and I could open it up. And I could start playing the game. Here's some instructions right here. If I click it, it'll say connecting and stuff. And this is somebody else made. Okay, hold that thought. I gotta go back. That's interesting. Okay, hold on. That work? Okay, let me try this one. This is the tic-tac-toe. Let me see if this one works. Okay, so I click the flag. I can make it full screen. I'll go to easy. Okay, so it's going to play against me. Okay, very good. So if I want to know how this game was made, all I have to do really is I can just say see inside. Okay? And then I can look at all the code in their game. I can look at all the sprites that they had that was involved in their project and things like that. But what's more, you guys, is I can go up here to remix, okay, and I can remix it. And now I can go and I can make it my own. I can change it up and make it my own and make my own project based on code that somebody else wrote, okay? Yes, I will send slides. Yes, I'll just send a PDF. It'll be just a document, okay? Okay, I'm glad you guys are sharing your projects. Thank you guys for doing that. Okay, so with that, that basically concludes the lesson today. So tomorrow we're going to be talking a little bit about probably loops. Let's see, I have my notes now. But we'll be talking about loops and conditional statements, okay? That's kind of where I like to go from here. Let's see, variables types. Yeah, we'll be talking about conditionals and loops, okay? Thank you guys. Have a great day. Bye.